It is the 27th of December, traditionally the day known as the what do we do today day, and we never really quite know what day of the week it is. Well, let me tell you, it is a Saturday, and not only that, it's 9 o'clock. So, yes, it's time for the last show of 2025. It's time for the Monster Magic Saturday show. Let's do this!
Wake up, it's a beautiful morning. Feel the sun shining for your eyes.
Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas, everybody, one and all. I imagine you're probably all in a bit of recovery mode. I hope you have had a wonderful Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day. Fingers crossed you received some lovely gifts that you will cherish for a long time. And perhaps you've given some and seen someone else's face light up, which for me is really what it is all about. But funnily enough, I have received some Christmas presents. Hang on, I've forgotten to get them. Bear me 1 second. Yes, Father Christmas did indeed even manage to find me on my little boat. So let's rummage through, shall we? And let's see what I got. Which one? This is so random. Even I don't know what I'm doing. Oh. I don't know. What could it be? What could it be? It's very exciting. It is. Let's get better at this. It is a bounded deck. One Louis Rubiales. Well, thank you, Juan. Really, well, I mean, I barely know you. This really does mean a lot. I'm deeply touched that you bothered to send me this. It's lovely. I didn't get you anything, unfortunately, but what I can say is that I do actually quite like this. In this effect, you show that you have a deck of cards which have some holes cut into the top. You split the deck in half. One half gets bound up with a spiral bound, so it's like a notepad. The other half gets shuffled and that gets spiral bound too. They're shown they can't come apart and that the cards do not match. One participant is then asked to select a card. When you then deal through both packs at the same time, no cards matches until it gets to the selected card, and that card is the only card in the whole deck that does match. You can then show, as if by magic, that suddenly all of the cards match. It's a wonderful take really on, I guess, Paul Curry's power of thought. It's a sort of twist on that method. It adds the spiral boundness that I absolutely love. I think that's really, really clever idea and a lot of fun. What I will say is that the tutorial is very short, and some of that is simply just the setup. So let me show you what you get. You get the spiral bindy things, and then you get the deck of cards. It comes in quite a nice box actually that holds everything really well, and it's an ordinary deck of rider bicycle cards. They're all rider back, but you can see they've all been perforated for the spiral binding. Now, the setup is basically you've got to sort of split the deck into two, shuffle one half, make sure you've got matching cards in each bit, and so on. I'm not going to go into too much detail over that. I'm not entirely sure the one has got to the fastest way of doing it. I think once you've done it a few times, you might be able to speed up that process. Certainly if you've ever done anything using the Gilbreth principle or things like that, you might have a faster way of doing it. The thought behind it, how it works, it's all pretty much self-working, but there are some little bits that you have to do, and this is pretty much where it falls down and where I was a little bit disappointed. So in the videos that you see, in the performances that you see, the card is forced, and it's forced using a timing force that he does whilst the cards are actually still bound as the notebook. In the tutorial, he doesn't teach that force at all. I've just told you it's a timing force. You can look it up. There are lots of resources on it. It's actually how to do it, but he doesn't teach it that way. He teaches it with a cross-cut force before it is bound. That's completely fine. That makes sense. He does do a sort of run through how to do a false shuffle a little bit, not in great detail, and just the one. If you know any other false cuts and things like that, throw them in, just trying to make it look like it is entirely random. I appreciate that there is a fine balance between, you know, what you do teach and what you don't teach and who you're expecting to buy these tricks, but you know, it's only a 12-minute tutorial. It really could just, you know, make it 20 minutes. It's no time out of your time to teach the force. There is also something else that you have to do that's not really a sleight. It's quite simple, but because of the angle, and because the angle doesn't change in the tutorial, you don't really get a good look at exactly what he's doing, and that's a bit of a shame as well. I mean, if you listen to what he says, you will get the idea, but again, it just could have been that little bit clearer. Effect wise though, I think it's great. It's sort of right up my street of the quirkiness and people not really understanding quite what is going to go on yet. The joy of turning these into sort of unshuffling notepads for me is just great. It brings people in, creates a bit of mystery, it makes the effect really clear, it makes the constraints of the effect really, really obvious, and it makes it much more powerful. The one problem I've got is that, given the brevity of the tutorial and the fact that you only get really some punched cards and some spirals, it is a little toppy price wise. But if you think of the whole effect as a whole, it's good for close up, carrying it around. It obviously involves 2 members of the audience, which is a lot of fun, and you can get some byplay out of that, but it will play for parlour as well. It's a great trick that brings a bit of novelty to your average pick a card, find a card trick. That is Bounded Deck by Juan Rubiales.
So here it is, Merry Christmas, everybody's having fun.
Let's see what else Santa has bought me, shall we? Here we go. So exciting, so exciting. I've had to wait extra days for new, and it is, oh yes, woohoo! It's Tennis by Alex. I never know how to pronounce that last name. Alex, thank you so much. I only got you some hot chocolate. I feel really, really bad now. But this I first saw at Blackpool, and Alex performed it on me, and it was a joy. What happens is that you throw a tennis ball around your audience, you toss it to the first person and ask them to name a colour, black or red, then you ask the other people to name a suit, and finally the ball gets tossed to someone else who is asked to name a value. They bring the tennis ball up on stage, having chosen the card. Let's say it turns out to be the 8 of spades. You then open the tennis ball to reveal that inside is indeed the 8 of spades. What a brilliant idea. I love it. I'm going to tell you that right now. This is staying here with me, Alex. Don't worry, I'm not one sort of person to give away their Christmas presents. No double gifting here, no. What I like about this is what Alex mentions to Henry in the tutorial. So Henry, Harrius and Alex are part of the tutorial. The tutorial is 30 minutes long. And Alex sort of talks about what he really wanted to achieve. And the idea really is that tossing a ball out into the audience to get them to choose something has been done, and it's nice. And when you bring that person up on stage, the ball tossing has been completely logical. There is no reason for them to expect that the card is going to be in that ball that has been out in the audience the whole time. So as far as they're concerned, the trick probably hasn't even started, and you're hitting them with a reveal. It really does blow people's expectations away. They don't see it coming, and with so many magic tricks, as Alex said, if you put an envelope on a table that says prediction, or if you put a little box with a lock on it, that's, you know, you're drawing people's attention to the fact that at some point these props are going to come into use, and they are going to be a prediction of some sort, or something amazing is going to come out of them. With this tennis ball, they haven't got a clue. It's just a way of choosing the participants as far as they're concerned, and what a joyful way of doing it. Let me show you the props before I get too much into all of the detail. Here's one of the problems, Alex, I must say, is that the tutorial link on the card is sort of blended into this green on black. Take a picture of your phone and expand it just so you can see it. That is the only thing. Even with my glasses, I couldn't read it. So here is the ball. Now I want to talk about this just a little bit. So there you go. It does look like an ordinary tennis ball. Now there is a seam that you can see running around it. You can reduce that seam. It will reduce over time, I'm pretty sure, but he does show the tutorial how you can massage it to get rid of it. But to be honest, that seam is really not, I mean, that's sort of a thing that you might get on a sort of slightly cheapish tennis ball anyway. But don't forget, no one thinks this is part of the act. It feels like a normal tennis ball. It's got the right weight of a normal tennis ball. If this is tossed around, people are catching it, you're asking them a question, they're not examining this. There's no reason for them to doubt that this isn't a tennis ball. Who would? How many people have given you a tennis ball and you've gone, whoa, let me try that? No, it doesn't happen. So it is very much good enough. The actual loading bit, which I'm not going to show you, well, I have actually flashed it already, is really well hidden. And because of how you hold a tennis ball and so on, I mean, I didn't notice it. I honestly didn't notice it. When Alex performed this on me, I didn't think this tennis ball was suspicious at all. I didn't notice where the load happens, and I didn't notice it when I got it out of here. I was sort of thinking, oh well, that was pretty good, and I opened it up and had a bit of fun. Didn't see it at all. And the other thing is, as Alex points out, to open it is not easy. It is quite tough. If you don't know it's open, you're not going to try strong enough to open it. Plus, you won't know exactly where to open it. So if you obviously open it on the hinge side, you've got absolutely no chance of it opening. So there you go. That is what would happen. This would be the signed card. This is actually a template for if you want to make a billet or a folded note or anything like that to appear in here. So in the tutorial at the end, they do discuss other things that can appear inside this tennis ball beautifully like that. So if you want to use it for a prediction, and then you can. Now, method-wise, the loading into this ball is done out in the open. It's quick, it's easy, does take a bit of practice, but it's clean. And also the person's handing you back the tennis ball, they've got no idea what's going to happen. As far as they're concerned, once they've handed this tennis ball back to you, that is its role in the trick over. But there is a completely free choice of cards. So there's no equivocate or equivoke, which takes your pick involved. Any card can be named. And the reason that that is possible is because you have some things in your pocket. Yes, you've got a index. This is the index. You have to use your own deck of cards, which is great if you use something other than bicycle cards, whatever they may have provided. And these go in either pocket. Now they are quite wide, so if you've got a suit jacket pocket, you're absolutely fine. If you've got jeans on, you may struggle, or you might already have your own pocket index that you're happy with that uses folded playing cards, in which case you're good to go. Alex runs through how he uses this. He also runs through how, when he knows where the card is, where he tosses the last person who's going to get the ball, because that provides the most cover. So throughout the tutorial, there are lots and lots of tips from all of the 2 years of experience that Alex has had playing with this, and that is really, really useful. You also get a couple of other little things that I'm not going to show you, but they just help you make it, if you wanted to make it into a billet or a signed banknote. You could even do a signed card to tennis ball if you like. They talk about other routines. They talk about combining it with the cups and balls and so on. The tutorial is absolutely fantastic as far as I'm concerned. It teaches you absolutely everything you need to know, exactly how to perform it, from angles to everything. I must just mention that I think David Stone, I'm not sure he ever released it, but it was certainly one of his lectures, had a card to tennis ball, so it's not entirely unique on that, but the use of the tennis ball and how it plays, and well, actually even the design of the tennis ball is far advanced to anything that David had in mind. This is mine. I love it. So far it's my favorite Christmas present. Thank you very much, Alex and Henry. I really wish I'd got you something better than that hot chocolate now. That is Tennis by Alex. £73. Woo! Isn't it going well? I've absolutely knocked it out of the park. I am possibly the luckiest man in the world. What's this? Here we go. It is... Oh, it's hard. I don't know what this is. It is some Barocca. I think that might be from my mum. Thanks, mum. Yes, I'm looking after myself. Barocca is amazing. It does really give you a bit of a pep in the morning. I like to mix it so it's sort of lukewarm and fizzy, and it really does give you a lift of energy in the morning and keep you going, especially if you're a little bit tired or under the weather. You know, it's Monster Magic's secret weapon. Thank you, mum. I was running low, and I shall see you in the new year.
Wow, I am in the most almighty Christmas groove. I haven't had this much fun since Two Little Boys was #1.
And now it's time for the section that is, for the time being, called What Do I Know? I've had a choice for a couple of questions this week, and I know that Adrian Tritton asked about 5 books. Adrian, I'm not sure whether you're asking 5 books that I wouldn't part with, or my 5 favourite books, or 5 favourite books I would recommend for a beginner or for anybody as must-have. So a little bit of clarity there, or I can just blend it up. Who knows? But this week, the question is, what should you do when a trick goes wrong? Now, I'm probably, well, am I the best to answer this question? I don't know. I have had tricks go wrong, usually just one per show, in which case, well, in any case, all you can really do is just move on as fast as possible. I actually had a trick go wrong in my Magic Circle exam, and the judges weren't even sure that it had gone wrong. I just moved on so quickly. The secret that I really have is that I make sure that the presentation or the journey that people are going on is really fun. That is my idea. I mean, I come from a comedy background, so maybe I've got a slight advantage there over perhaps, you know, mentalism and things like that. But so it's not like everything rests on, you know, that card being found or that revelation being correct, because hopefully there have been a lot of joy and a lot of laughs and whatever, and people will forgive the ending. Otherwise, but you've got no real way out. If you're stuck, if there was meant to be a ring in something and it's not there, you are stuck. You're just going to have to admit that it's gone wrong and move on. Hopefully it's not the last trick of the show. I have had one disastrous show where almost every trick went wrong, and for me the big lesson there was, how on earth do you get over a show like that? I'm still not over it. Even the mention of that organisation's name strikes fear and puts me in a bad mood. Not that it's their fault, it's entirely my fault. You've got to learn as to why the mistake happened, perhaps try and come up with a way of curing it in the past. I certainly know that a lot of things happened before that gig. I should have been stronger with my artistic integrity and so on, and I could have stopped a lot of that stuff happening, but I was being far too nice and let things happen. and you've got to learn from that, but it's very, very hard to get over. In the world of comedy, you're sort of taught that you've got until midday the next day to complain about a gig, and after that you've just got to get over it. What is perhaps of interest is that I used to be absolutely petrified of something going wrong on stage, and it was my therapist who told me that perhaps I should go into a gig unprepared so that I could experience what it's like, and then I wouldn't be so scared of things going wrong. It took a few gigs of that before anything really did go wrong. I survived. There was a few minor hitches, but it did really help me relax. It really did help me relax on stage. I still think it was absolutely terrible advice, but it turned me into the magician I am in many ways. So if you don't know the sort of thing that I do, but a lot of the stuff I only ever do once, I'll make it up for a specific gig and do it, and then it's completely forgotten. I'll make it up for a competition, I'll make it up for a particular organization or event, and then it's done with. I've proven that it works, I've enjoyed it, hopefully the audience have enjoyed it, and I'm not that bothered about really nailing it and making it absolutely perfect. And sometimes I feel the synergy of the first time you've done it and the energy and the excitement I get from doing it the first time translates into the audience, and I never become that person going through the motions. I suppose the one big tip I would give you is to have one spare, surefire, strong, quite quick trick in your bag, ready to go, so that if you need to fill a bit of time because the trick's gone wrong terribly early, maybe midway, so you've got 4 or 5 minutes to fill, or if it is the last trick and that trick goes wrong, you've got something that you can pull out of the bag that is good. You can get a lot of good, strong working tricks that you've got there that don't take up too much space, and that way you can still hit the audience at the end and still come off with applause and a bit of a triumph. Oh, and whatever you do, don't blame the audience or the participant or anything like that. Take it on the chin, take it with a smile, and move on. I hope that helps somewhat. Right, I've got more prezzies.
We're gonna have a party tonight. I'm gonna find that girl underneath the mistletoe. We'll kiss by candlelight.
Ooh. Oh, I don't know. What can it be? What can it be? It is Giftism by Juice Gala. Buck Bowen at Juice Gala. Buck, thank you so much. I am a big fan of Buck. I'm a big fan of Juice Gala. They've been going for quite a while, but Buck is responsible for Pop Hayden's Popsicle, bringing that to the market. What a brilliant, simple gag that is, and so well made. There's a reason why I like Buck, and I'll come to that perhaps with this, but I'll talk, Popsicle, everything is thought through. The way the stick, you can change the stick can be broken. Oh, amazing. And he's also responsible for Lucky Ladybug, which again has been a massive hit, full of charm, and I'm constantly selling the refills for it. This is his new one, and in this one you show that you have some present boxes printed on some playing cards, and you ask your participant from a list of presents to think of which one they would like. They then go through the boxes, giving them a shake, and they're getting to guess whether or not they think it contains the present they've chosen. At the end, you shake the box and you are able to tell them what the gift they were thinking of is. It's a mentalism trick, hence the giftism. I think combines mentalism and gifts. Perfect for this time of year, obviously, although possibly a little bit late, but it uses a very classic principle. I'm not going to name the principle, but it's very well known, goes back a very long time. It's been used in a lot of effects. Certainly if you've bought anything from Craig P in the last year or two, you've probably got something that uses this principle. It's getting more and more common, or it's had a resurgence recently. It was certainly around back in the 80s. It was sort of really popular, 80s and 90s, and then it sort of faded away, and now it's being brought back. It's one of those things, a little bit like I mentioned the Gilbrief principle. earlier, that people know about, and they do tricks with it, and it all sort of seems to work. But as Buck says, he hasn't got the faintest idea why it does. It doesn't matter too much. It's a bit like, you know, the Hummer principle or shuffleboard. It just works, and that is the joy of it. There is a small element of maths involved, I will take you that, but it's very easy maths. And actually, the way Buck teaches this, and the way the cards are designed and the way the whole routine is structured, is to make those maths as easy as possible. It's only simple addition. You've got plenty of time to do it. There's no need to rush. There's no need to panic. And also, you'll get very, very familiar with the numbers required. Let me show you the cards because they are nice too. I won't flash the tutorial. So this is the card they get to pick the presents from, so most commonly requested gifts. There's a good range on there. Some are a little bit esoteric. Perhaps they're not the gifts that I would necessarily have chosen. But look, oh, is that hot chocolate on that? No, it's hot coffee. What a shame. Almost, Alex. It almost came from here. But you've got video games, a football, a watch, a laptop, ring, you know, that sort of thing. And then you've got the present cards, and this is the genius of this. It's a very, very logical premise that buries the principle so well. Often with this principle, it's lists of things and words and numbers, and with this, it's all images. Not the first time it's been done with all images by any means. If you've seen Craig Petty and Mark Bennett had a similar idea of using images as well. But the idea of this being a box and you're trying to guess whether your present is in here by giving it a rattle and so on is lovely. That really draws your audience in. It's something we all do. I've been doing it here just for fun. On the other side is the presents, of course. There you go. Oh, drop one. So you can see they have to look, see if their present is on there. They say yes or no. And the backs of these cards are actually one way with the ribbon. And what is nice about that is that when the person has to look for their present on the side, so that's the front, that's the side where they'll see if the present they've selected is actually inside the box. Because it's a one way, you can hand it to your participants so that they don't have to turn it round to look like that. And that's a subtle thing, but it does make it more convenient. It does speed things up, and I think it's something that flies under the radar, but it makes the trick much smoother. Well done, Buck. He really does think this thing through. The backs are marked, which is how Buck used to do it, but then thanks to Chris Edwards, you don't really need to use the markings at all. It's all as hands-off as it can be. You simply just have your participants say yes or no, put them down on the table, and you tell them what their gift is. You give it a little shake as well and go, oh, it's rattling a little bit, it's rattling. Is it, oh, sounds like AirPods. Is it AirPods? And not only does this all tie into what we often do when we receive a present, it makes a lot of the trick completely motivated. The tutorial is an hour long. It's split up into sections so you can skip through if you wish, but Buck covers the motivation, he covers expectations, how to build people's expectations as to what to do, how to do the trick, various methods. He really does go into it to make sure that you get the best reactions possible. It's a wonderful tutorial. It's playful, it's light-hearted, it's a joy to perform. Who knows, if I'd opened this a couple of days earlier, I might have been performing it around the Christmas table. Thank you very much, Duece Gala. Thank you very much, Buck. Merry Christmas. That is Giftism, £21, 50p. Right then, I've only got one Prezi left. Oh, who knows until next year. Right, how to get into this? What can it be? What can it be? Oh, it's quite slim. Here we go. Da, da, da. I don't think it's a car. It is. Oh, Cheep trick. by Nojima. Thank you, Nojima. I've never met you, so this is a big surprise. This is more a utility gimmick than a one-off trick, and you can use it to, well, eliminate some of the difficult sleight of hand from some classics of magic, whether that be a sandwich trick, a brilliant biddle trick, some transformations, some transportations. It's up to you. You are actually taught 5 routines, I think, on just to know I'm tidying this up. I'm not sure I'm looking good regardless. The actual method behind this, it's hard to really show you what you get in here. Let me show you. I'll show you what you get. Basically, you get 4 jokers. There you go. That's what you get. Plus some little secret stuff. The method, the secret stuff, isn't new, and you get taught 5 tricks, some of which are worth using this for, some are really easy enough to do without it. I would learn some good sandwich effects without this. There are plenty of clean, quite easy methods taught all around. If you get a good book, you'll be fine. There's the biddle trick. The biddle trick is a brilliant but also very easy trick to do. It does have a sleight in it, but once you can do that, you can do it with any borrowed deck of cards impromptu. I wouldn't again use that for this. And then you come to the tricks such as, I think there's one called the hotel, which is a great transportation one, and the visitor. They are wonderful bundle effects, and this does help with those. It's a really interesting sort of introduction into this principle, but it's not very well taught. It's mostly music. There's the odd bit of speaking. There are subtitles, I think, but mostly it's all just shown, and there are still some sleights involved, and they're not taught. Unlike a lot of tutorials now where you can start off, I mean, you know, I think Craig, I have to hand it to Craig, he probably started this idea of, you know, if you buy this trick, he wants the trick to be able to be taught by, learned by a complete and utter beginner. With this, you are going to need to know at least some of the lingo, even if you don't know the actual sleight, just so you can look it up. It's a shame because the sleights are quite basic, but they're not taught. It's the tutorial that really lets this down, and also possibly the thoroughness of it. I love this method. I came across this method first with this book, Constant Fooling #2. There's a whole chapter on using this gimmick, and it is a brilliant chapter. Some of the tricks are very similar to this, but what you get in this and what you don't get in that. Now, I'm not going to, if you've ever watched this channel, if you do know me, I'm a big David Regal fan. And he teaches, or what he's really good at is the premise, the plot, getting the most power from the trick, giving people the story, engaging people. Because this is all done to music, you don't get any pattern, you don't get any justification as to why this card is going from left to right, or why they've changed into the royal flush. You get none of the story. You have to add all of that yourself. Now, you could argue that's a good thing. I get to make it my own. I get to use my imagination, but it leaves it feeling slightly dry to me when you're watching the performances and you're going, oh, that's a good trick, but I mean, why? What is nice is that you do get quite a lot of the little gimmicky stuff, all nicely prepared, ready to go. Obviously, the jokers they provide are in bicycle, rider back, but you can use any deck, any card, and the tutorials are varied. The tricks are varied. They use the cards in various different ways, so it does probably cover almost everything you can do with it. You've just got to use your imagination to really put a hook on that, or even develop your own routines using it. For me, this is the best resource, so perhaps I've been a little bit spoiled in advance. Maybe if this had been the first time I've seen it done like this, or had my eyes opened by how powerful this can be and how easy it can make some tricks, I might be different. But part of me still feels that David Regal had it right by putting it in a book. I know the books are slowly going out of fashion, but just listen to some of the titles of his tricks using this here. You've got A Good Catch, Stabbed with Extreme Prejudice. I might need my glasses. Mullicanacious Monty, Triple Cross, Tenacious Climber. You can tell that they are really, really entertaining routines, all made very easy with this. Perhaps I'm being harsh. It's probably an eye-opener for a lot of people. I do wish the tutorial was more thorough, but it's a wonderful, wonderful method. They are a wonderful, wonderful way of gimmicking a card, and it's a great thing to add to your arsenal. Nojima, thank you very much. That is Cheep Trick by Nojima, Bacon Magic, $29.99.
Christmas coming around again, then?
Yeah, must be nearly a year since the last one, I should think.
It's a good 12 months,
Oh, yeah.
You get anything for your granny this year?
Well, I thought about it, but I couldn't be bothered.
Well, it's the thought that counts.
Yeah. What do you fancy for Christmas?
Kim Wilde.
And that's it for this week's show. I'm afraid it is the last show of the year, quite unbelievably. I'm not sure what I've got planned for the first show of next year. Don't know if I'll make it special or maybe I won't. But I do hope you have a fabulous new year. I hope you've had a fabulous Christmas. And come on, we've got some time off. Everyone's in a good mood. Grab some magic, go out there and have some fun with the best hobby in the world. Goodbye.